Hello, denizens of the internet. Former network executive reaction here. This time I'm going to do something I promised I would never do, and that is to review something. In this case, it's episode 1 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Yes, I'm a major Star Trek nerd, so I had to do it, but I will try to stay away from bitching about lore and things just for the sake of lore or canon. Not to keep all of you in suspense. I thought the show was okay. I know there are a lot of fan channels that have gone batshit crazy happy over this first show, and I'm thrilled for them. There are a ton of Star Trek sufferers out there. Episode 1 was kind of like an asthma puffer. We can all finally breathe again. Until the next attack. However, my first impression was that of someone who's been kept in an abusive family, the Kurtzmans, in the basement, never being allowed to venture outside, sleeping in my own shit, finally being rescued by the police, and then handed off to a foster home where they only beat me occasionally. The relief is real. I'm thankful to be able to see the sun. Life is better, but I'm still being abused. And most certainly, Kurtzman and crew are still abusing fans in this episode. I will explain. I'm warning all of you right now, there will be spoilers. Part of my relief is that the show looks like Star Trek. Sci-fi is hard to do, but I think they pulled it off without making it campy. And all the stuff on the planet, whatever it was called, I don't care, was really cheaply done. Cheap was part of the charm of TOS, and so great respect for that callback. The star of the show is Anson Mount's hair. Outside of the movie Hairspray, no other hair has been more important to a creative endeavor. Anson, of course, plays Christopher Pike, the pre-Kirk captain of the Enterprise. Heck, even a young Samuel Kirk shows up sporting a porn stash. Will it be a battle of the follicles in future eps? Who knows? We do know that Samuel bites it, however. Okay, back to the show. I thought it started horribly. This might be a personal writing bitchy thing, but I don't like lead characters that start off reluctant to play the role we want them to play. I don't think it's a problem for them to be reluctant to do a job within a role that they are committed to doing. A reluctant Kirk thing was already done in the movies. Why start there? Apparently, Pike is harboring some secret, giving him anxiety and self-doubt. I was thinking, holy crap. It's the Discovery bullshit. What it is bad writing. There's nothing wrong with Pike having some personal doubts, but when he finds out a colleague is in trouble, those doubts must be set aside. The show literally had the Admiral, I'm assuming it was April, ordering him to go on the mission. That is not a Starfleet captain. They might be broken humans like an executive of a multinational corporation who works 100 hours a week, causing hurt to their family and others who love them. But the singular obsessive focus must be there. And I thought this external forced motivation was absolutely as wrong for Pike as it would be for Kirk or any Starfleet captain worth their salt. So we have a conflicted Pike, which causes the Admiral to ask him, "What the hell happened to you out there?" Pike responded, "It's classified." Okay, mystery story. This is film school level script nonsense. Luckily, it was dispelled early enough, but why add it to this first episode layer cake? I have no idea. Trek fans know what's going to happen. The foreshadowing added nothing. It's like watching the movie The Day of the Jackal. We know he's not going to kill de Gaulle. We know the Jackal didn't succeed, but that did not in the least distract us from the amazing, gripping movie. So just do the bloody show, you twats. We get it. Stop with the first-year film school script writing. Did anyone else think the shuttle was whipping about more like a tiny skidoo rather than the giant hulk of metal it was? Okay, that might have been just been me. Next, we have the reimagining of Spock when he had the scene with T'Pring on Vulcan. One of the things TOS did was create alien societies with very distinct social cues. Sitting in the comfort of my chair at 17 years of age, it was shorthand for they were different. Did it bother me that Spock and T'Pring are actually a thing when it was clearly established in TOS that Spock did not meet T'Pring till the Pong Far, that it was an arranged marriage in that South Asian kind of way, that Vulcans were pretty much asexual until they went into heat? The price paid for years' worth of celibacy and contemplative thought? Actually, no. With my executive in charge of production hat on, I can imagine the gang of writers pitching me this massive change. The only thought on my mind would be, oh boy, hot Vulcan sex, I'm in. I would also understand that TOS gave us single episodic moments that we never returned to. I think it's obvious, and I know I'm going to get pillared for this by Trek fans, but the change was logical in the context, I think, of what they were trying to do with this series. What wasn't logical was the dialogue, which didn't sound Vulcan at all. T'Pring asked Spock to marry her, but then he said, I was beginning to think you'd never ask. Really? And was this the start of all that men are second class to women stuff in this series? Will we see her degrade Spock further by hoofing him in the nuts? Which is very popular shorthand in the MCU. Why the human turn of phrase? On Vulcan especially, Spock should be a Vulcan. It should have been some silly ritualistic Vulcan response. I accept your Deng Xiaoping, as they touch fingertips, or whatever. I don't speak Vulcan. But dialogue is supposed to advance character or plot, and preferably both. This did not advance character. It's kind of retrograde. And as a writer, I would have had a field day coming up with Vulcan word salad. No, the major failing of this scene was that it just didn't feel Vulcan at all. And there are other parts in the show where Spock does not feel very Vulcan either. And I think that's a mistake. Kurtzman has basically turned all his Star Trek properties into an episode of Friends in Space. And there is some of that here too, but not so egregiously. I absolutely did not buy Spock arguing with the security chief about whether to put the shields up or not. Then later, we meet Nurse Chapel, who provides polyjuice potions for our crew to infiltrate the locals on the planet. And there was the now obligatory moment showing women are stronger than men. No, I'll take it without the anesthetic. Can you please stop? But wait, no one was sent down to the planet to collect the locals' DNA. Was this all done with the scanner from the Enterprise? Not entirely sure it can do that. That would have been a nice, small, mundane adventure. Anyway, the rest of the show was actually pure Orville. Star Trek. In the best original tradition, including featuring a silly, long-winded speech by Pike that brought the two warring factions together. The feeling I'm left with is that the people behind Strange New Worlds were so desperate to lift the weight of utter contempt from Star Trek fans for failed movies, Discovery, and Picard that there was a certain desperation to get this series onto some kind of positive track. In that sense, it was successful, I think, but also a failure, because with all the money, time, and technology at their disposal, Strange New Worlds' only accomplishment was that it did an okay job of mimicking TOS. But the episode wasn't special or memorable in a good way, like the Corbomite maneuver, the Balance of Terror, or This Side of Paradise, or even in a bad, schlocky way, like Mud's Women or Arena. This first episode of Strange New Worlds would not rate anywhere against any of the original episodes. It would be a big nothing burger, neither loved nor laughed at. And that's my point. With all their resources, this was the best they could do. Thank God, we still have Anson's hair to look forward to. Till next time, denizens, be seeing you.